Most characters in Western films fall into two camps, good guys and bad guys. But many times there's a third figure casting their shadow in the saloon doorway, as independent as the West itself, part outlaw, part lawman, a free agent turning justice into transaction, monetizing the very independence that defines them. The bounty hunter.
Bounty hunters? We don't need that scum.
Yes, sir.
They often work alone, no badge, no uniform, no real allegiance, just a poster, a price, a horse, and a gun. In Hollywood's depiction anyway, these bounty hunters earn their living roaming the West, risking their lives and killing without hesitation. The price on a man's head was the only motivation they needed to get the job done, collect the reward, and ride out of town. The American Institute of Economic Research reported that bounties were most likely often in the hundreds, not thousands like you see in the movies, but throughout the Old West, private firms, individuals, and government authorities did offer these rewards, and evidence of that can be seen in newspaper ads and circulars. The Tombstone Epitaph, for instance, reported 31 separate reward offers involving Cochise County in Arizona between 1887 and 1893, a county that at the time reported fewer than 7,000 residents. Wells Fargo's in-house detective agency reported 340 stagecoach robberies, train robberies, and burglaries, with losses totaling over $400,000, and paid over $70,000 in rewards between 1870 and 1884. But as someone seeking these rewards, how do you put a price on human life? More importantly, what does it cost to take one? Especially when your livelihood hinges on it and the poster in your hand makes it seem so simple. Wanted, dead or alive. It's Horses on Film.
Howdy, y'all. Welcome to episode 18 of Horses on Film. This is the podcast dedicated to determining the top 100 Westerns of all time. We're using as our guide, of course, IndieWire's list that they put out in 2024. From there, we're adding, subtracting, rejiggering, making our own list. Hopefully, it's something we can be proud of. So thank you for joining us on our little journey through the West. And I'm joined, as always, of course, by my co-hosts, Dave and Scott. Welcome. Hello.
Howdy. Aloha. How's it going?
Good. How are you guys? This is
good.
18% through this list.
That's a good chunk.
20%.
Yeah,
It's almost 20%.
yeah, we're getting there.
I hear it's higher than 17, but lower than 19.
Somewhere in the middle there.
Middle there.
I wanted to mention last episode I made a crucial error. We had Mark Muncy in the studio, and I forgot to ask him if Bigfoot is real. Dave, you know him. You've followed along. Has he ever expressed his feelings on Bigfoot?
I will not speak for Mark Muncy. I will say we have to invite Mark Muncy back.
Absolutely. Okay.
That's what I say.
I can't believe, because he just randomly mentioned that he's gone out with Bigfoot hunters and all this stuff.
Oh, definitely.
And I was going to ask him, and then we just moved on to something else, and I can't believe I didn't go back.
Well,
and
there's
say,
also Ogopogo and what other Canadian we got going. I don't know how much he knows about north of the border, but I got a feeling he does. So
I do remember a great story where some company was making an AI model, and to test it, they were kind of throwing it, softball questions. And they asked it if Bigfoot was real. And immediately the AI model was like, yeah, of course it is. Like, there's been thousands of sightings of Bigfoot and like only 15 sightings of Florida panthers, and
Yeah.
we didn't know mountain gorillas were real until like the 1870s or something, or even more recent than that. So yeah, anyway, I just thought that was a missed opportunity. But last week we covered Hell's Heroes. It's sitting in 10th position out of 17, which I'm actually pretty impressed with. It's pretty high on the list. Had an average rating of 15 out of 20, so it's right in behind Dead Man. and a total rating of 15 out of 20 and an average rating of 3.75. So I'm pretty impressed with that. That's that's going to end up kind of in our high end of the list, I think, in the end.
It says a lot about the film, especially 1923. Like,
yeah, 29. Yeah.
I'm sure if we took all my scores and put them on a curve, the older the film, the lower the score. So, like,
and oddly enough, mine would go the opposite way.
Yeah,
I think so. Editing is usually what gets me, and that's I find the older films, the editing is a little. And that's pacing maybe is maybe a better way to put it. Editing helps with the pacing, but
for sure. Well, this one, we're right in the transition period in the mid 60s. This is right when, spaghetti westerns were kind of changing all those rules. So let's jump into it if you guys are ready. Are you guys good to go?
I feel I am.
All right, let's jump in.
All right, we'll put that up and hit some mood music. The man with no name is back. The man in black is waiting, a walking arsenal. He uncoils, strikes, and kills. 2 bounty hunters pursue the brutal and sadistic bandit, El Indio, who has a large bounty on his head.
Yes, for a few dollars. Boy, Dave, that was a good one. That was very spirited. I'm impressed.
Dum, dum,
dum. We're 18 in. He's finding his legs.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, for a few dollars more, 1966 is the year. At least the year it came out. I believe in North America, it might have come out a little sooner.
Yeah, I believe it came out sooner.
Yeah, directed by Sergio Leone. This is our second Leone on the list. Screenplay by, I'm going to butcher all these names, FYI. Screenplay by Luciano Vincenzoni and Sergio Leone. It took them 9 days to write. And then uncredited script doctoring work by Sergio Donati, who did mostly the dialogue. It's based on a story by Leone and Fulvio Morcella, Fernando Di Leo, and Enzo del Aquila. They said they had a lot of cooks in the kitchen on this script, but somehow the more people they added, the better it got. And
you come to me on podcasts on the day of my daughter's quinceañera.
Yeah, I should have been doing this the whole time.
Don't worry, Scott was. If you
I'm gonna
or not,
when you watch his back, watch it.
All this. All right, okay.
If you're not following us on YouTube, follow us on YouTube so you can see the glory that is.
How dare you butcher Leone's name?
All right. Well, I've got more butchering to come here because it stars Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, Gian Maria Volante. Again, I don't know how to pronounce it. And Klaus Kinski, father of Natasha Kinski. I didn't know they were related. It was originally titled The Two Magnificent Strangers. And I think that word magnificent was in there very much on purpose. That's not a coincidence. Shot at Mini Hollywood, Almeria, Spain, in various constructed Western settings, interiors at Cinecittà Studios in Rome. Shot from April to June 1965. Cinematography by Massimo Dallamano. Score was composed by Ennio Morricone, who, same as in the case of Once Upon a Time in the West, recorded it all ahead of time, so they had it on set for timing and pacing and performance. The entire film was shot MOS, dubbed later, which of course was the norm in Italian cinema at the time, which also allowed them to play that music so they could time their performances to it. It became the highest grossing Italian film at the time, earning $5 million US in Italy, and eventually $25.5 million worldwide. They sold it to 26 different countries in a single day, and often considered an overlooked masterpiece. It was sandwiched between the successes of Fistful and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. but has since been kind of reconsidered as one of Leone's best, and maybe even one of the best of the genres. This list has it as a top 5 Western. Tarantino has called it a top 5 Western, which again, I feel like he's kind of had influence over this list despite none of his movies being on it. But to join us to talk about it, our special guest today, film guy, locations guy, fun guy, Luke Antosh. Hello, welcome.
Hello, good to be here. I might have messed up though and watched the wrong movie.
Oh,
I watched Street Fighter: Legend of Chun-Li.
yes,
They're probably pretty similar. I could probably feel my way through this.
The
You'll be fine.
Oscar-worthy Chun-Li. It was so good.
Yeah, with Chris Evans. No, don't worry. I watched the correct movie.
Oh, good.
I'm just going in with a bang. What can I say?
Yeah.
I like it.
That's awesome. Had you seen it before?
Legend of Chun-Li.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes.
For a few dollars more. Yes, I've seen it a few times. It actually, I would say, it's kind of. I like it. I like it better than A Fistful. I always found it the little unsung hero, and that part of that might be because of the full charisma of my boy, the Cleef.
Yeah.
He is spectacular. I mean, one of the notes I had here was after he literally unravels his satchel to take down who I think was the actual Billy the Kid, if looking at that guy's face comparative to the posters, I'm pretty sure that he's a Donatello, right? Like, of the Ninja Turtles, he's got to be a Donatello, right?
Yeah, well, in many ways,
Yeah.
James Bond, I think he was modeled a little bit after James Bond, and they wanted him to have the arsenal, so that thing where he flaps down on the side of his horse and he's got all the weapons. It's on the poster too. It's really cool. When that happened, again, I went into this super confident that I had seen it a bunch of times, and then the movie started and I went, I don't recognize any of this. I think I watch Fistful and I watch Good, the Bad, and the Ugly so often that I've kind of muddled them all together. And I know I've seen this before, but a lot of it, I was just like, what am I? Oh, I don't recognize this. I don't recognize this. So it was kind of fresh and new for me. Scott, had you seen it before?
I haven't seen any of them.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
So I started with Empire Strikes Back, and I was going to ask because, so Luke, as you, I didn't even mean to on that one. I just was talking to Brittany.
We drink for Star Wars.
I'm curious. Is the pocket watch thing in the first one? Is the bad guy in the first? Does any of this carry over from the first one?
Well,
just Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah, just Clint Eastwood, and even still, although he seems to be playing the same character, he's apparently not, and they had to have a lawsuit to determine that because the producers of the Fistful tried to claim that the character was their creation.
Isn't he wearing the same poncho and everything, though?
It's literally the same poncho, except they turn it inside out and backwards. But it even has the bullet holes from Fistful. Right. You just can't see it because it's on his shoulder blade most of the movie.
When we were talking about it last week, you were like, it's weird we get the middle one. And I was like, yeah, I would have liked to watch them in order, and I probably should have and could have, but I didn't have time. I'm coming at this from the idea of it's on its own.
Right. And I think it does stand on its own. It's not like it's not Empire Strikes Back. It's not a part 2 of a 3-act play. It's definitely its own thing. The same actor returns as the bad guy in the first 2 movies. So it's not, nothing really other than the spirit, the energy. It's sort of a spiritual sequel, not a literal sequel. Yeah.
Well, it's like outside of the Luke at the end, spoiler for that bit, I think Empire sits on its own too, though. So you don't have to.
I imagine you could just sit down and watch Empire and not be too lost.
I sat down and, like I said, not now knowing this stuff, I was always of the mind that the sister bit, him wanting to get this guy Van Cleef, that whole thing, I thought that was a continuation from the first one. So I had that in my mind the whole time. Now knowing it stands on its own, and it's like what I came out of this, if I may throw it in there, it's funnier than I thought it was going to be. It's cheeky funny, not like overt. There's just like little things here and there. The music every once in a while pick like little cues too.
Yeah.
Fantastic film though. Honestly, really good.
Cool. How about you, Dave? What were your initial takeaways?
I'd seen it before, but it's been a very long time. I went through a fairly lengthy phase where I loved foreign films. I loved subtitled films. And I don't know if we had the conversation on camera, but I prefer dubbed ones now for a variety of reasons. But The Good, the Bad, and the Weird, which we will tackle at some point in the future because it is on this list.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that, and in watching that, I went, okay, well, I'm going to have to watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Well, if I'm going to watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I might as well watch all three.
Yeah.
So I've seen all three of them. And like you, some of it was long enough ago that they were just kind of blended together. And I did watch A Fistful of Dollars before this. I was able to get in and watch it on Amazon Prime while it was still available there. And then this, and I had a hard time with this one. Not that I didn't like it, and this is the weird thing. I really did like it. I watched it 3 times, but I could not watch it without it being background noise.
Right. Okay.
I had a hard time dialing in and
couldn't focus
focusing on it.
Yeah.
And whether that is, I don't blame the movie for it. And when we get to the ratings, that that doesn't affect my rating.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely, I don't know if it's a me thing or a movie thing, like my headspace while I was trying to watch it. But I enjoyed it enough that I went back to try again and try again. And I enjoy it. And I think I've seen it all. In
pieces. Yeah.
In pieces, in TikTok length pieces of it, kind of thing. No, I really did enjoy it. The first time I watched it through, or I guess rewatched it through, I didn't think the music was as epic as it was in A Fistful of Dollars. And in rewatching it, I think I wasn't fair with that, because the music is A Fistful of Dollars. It's the same music.
Oh, it's so good.
Very good.
It's really good.
And it's great. And I think it didn't impact me as much because, again, I couldn't focus on the movie, so it kind of blended in with that lack of focus. I had a similar thing. I originally rated this as only some horses because it just kind of didn't connect.
Right.
I've adjusted that as well. And again, we'll get to that when we get to the end of the episode.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, no, I thought it's a great movie. It definitely belongs here.
Yeah. Okay. Great. I like too what you said, Luke, about him being the Donatello, because even when the two of them get together, when they finally kind of start to strike a deal, Clint Eastwood kind of feels like he's kind of impressed with all his little tools and gadgets, but doesn't quite understand why you would need them. And
he comments on the weird pistol with the rifle, and I get why, but he comments on all of it.
Speaking of his pistol, he had in that roll down, of all the rifles, he had the 1989 Joker pistol with a rifle barrel on it,
with the long barrel.
I've got it. The Joker pistol. Yeah.
That's exactly what that is.
So then, Luke, who is Clint Eastwood in this?
That's a good question. As I was writing down Donatello earlier, I was thinking, I'm like, man, he's not a Leonardo, right?
No, he's too much.
He has the chill temperament.
Yeah, Raph.
What's that?
I think he's a Raph.
I think, he's definitely not a Michelangelo.
No.
If anyone would be, if you had to press me now, I'd maybe say El Indio, because that guy is having such a good time with his job, at least for the first bit.
He is a party dude. He is a party dude for sure.
He's a party dude. Tell me that guy's not like, if there were better doctors in the time, what would they diagnose El Indio with? Because he has a great time and then a terrible time.
Yeah. And then he's smoking some pot, and he's chilling out.
That's
he's
stronger than pot. That was not just pot.
But I think it was meant.
We don't need to
figure
that. Yeah.
There was something going on in there.
Something going on there.
That's a lot of
I was going to mention too the name. You know, they always call this the Man with No Name trilogy or the Dollars trilogy, or like at least the character, the Man with No Name. But so far in these movies, he's got a name in each one of them, and this one they call him Manco. But Amazon Prime credited him as Monco. So I don't know if
I
that's
thought
an
I
error.
heard Tuco.
No, I know, yeah, that's another one, yeah. But yeah, so I guess apparently that means one arm, or in Italian it means maimed. And then he's got that leather wrist thing on his one hand. So I think they were just kind of trying to build him like he was maybe had some kind of ailment holding him back, and then we were going to be so impressed that all
I like, especially for the first little bit, I actually thought he was only had the one arm, like until it comes out. I get it, it's like a surprise, waha, right?
Yeah,
like,
my hands on my gun the whole time under this poncho. Yeah,
You know, it's funny. I could have sworn. Oh, sorry. Go.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I could have sworn his name was. I heard him say Tuco for a moment, and you're right. I see Monco here, so I don't know why. And I had this whole thought. I could have sworn I heard Tuco, and I thought it might be a nod to Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which is the prequel to the Fistful, and for a few dollars. And Tuco is the Ugly.
Right.
So I thought, well, maybe that's the case. Now, as I seem to have misheard, I am completely wrong, and I have just wasted 15 seconds of everybody's airtime.
No, that's all good.
That's usually my job.
Yeah. I wanted to mention too, I love the opening credits. They're, I think it goes to the next level in Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but that open wide shot and the whistling, and you think, oh, here's our hero riding up, and then he gets shot off his horse, and then the Ripley things come in, and
the credits on everything was weird.
Yeah,
like it like takes the form of, and I thought that was an interesting, like, it made me watch them. Usually I'm just like, I'm good. Right. like it's
you're waiting for how the rifle shots are going to affect the lettering and stuff like that. Very innovative, interesting, kind of fun, kind of Saul Bassey 60s kind of feel to it, but very cool.
Yeah, whoever did that had a blast.
Oh, definitely.
He might have been partying with Michelangelo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And and the James Bond influence goes even deeper than Van Cleef, because they wanted the story, and I didn't really notice this at first, but they wanted the story to change locations kind of every 10 minutes the way James Bond does, and they wanted there to be kind of the heroes had to kind of face a showdown in each location, kind of everywhere they went. I think that was pretty effective, and there's certainly there's a term I hear or I see a lot on Letterboxd when I'm going through this, where they're talking about aura farming, and I'm too old to know what that means, but I think if there was ever an aura farming movie, I think that's what they're talking about, is like these great moments where people get to be cool on screen, and then that coolness just kind of like lives on beyond the movie,
Well, Grandpa, for what I understand, that's what it is. 6'7", no cap. I'm gonna go eat a Tide Pod now.
Yeah,
this is great. I'll see you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
the Gen Zs on Letterboxd keep referring to this like aura farming, and I kind of get what they mean. Like there's a cool factor. There's a like that idea of wanting to be this cool cowboy is this character. It is Clint Eastwood in all three.
I think that's the problem is if you only watch this and know, like, I know of the other ones, and I knew when this is like, this Clint Eastwood is cool when he's not like ranting at chairs at conventions. Like, this is cool. I was okay with this. Like, I get why we like Clint Eastwood now. Now, if John Wayne could have this moment, that'd be great. But
we might get to a movie on the list that does make you kind of.
I hope so. But like, you can just tell he's just like, he's eating up the moment. He knows why he's there. He's already done it once in the film before, I'm assuming. And and like, he's just like, I'm gonna do my thing. He has like 3 paragraphs of dialogue the whole film. Like it's just like he's there to shoot things and be cool.
And our boy Lee Van Cleef is cool through the whole movie too.
Yep.
Like
I love that man. Actually,
he's
legitimately,
rad.
like I thought he was going to be almost like Clint Eastwood feels like the littlest hobo. And like in this, and then like he was going to be our main character, and it's just all of a sudden he wanders in. We get this figured out. He wanders out, kind of like the Mandalorian, oddly enough. So
Yeah, and I think there's definitely a lot of ties. Well, I mean, certainly Boba Fett was based very much on this character with he had that little section of poncho, more so in the concept art than in the actual thing. And then they gave him the little spur sounds when he walks into the room in Bespin, and there definitely is there's a direct line between these bounty hunter characters and then the ones that show up in Star Wars. 100%.
bounty killers. That caught me off guard too.
Yeah, that is definitely how they use it, or the term in all
Literally,
these.
they call them bounty. Go get the bounty killers. Let the bounty
Yeah.
killers go. I was like, oh, that's weird. We always say bounty hunters.
I think that's the North American
I think so too.
version, and then it might have something to do with
Bounty
the
killers.
yeah. You get the
When
hands
given
in-
the option of dead or alive, it's just easier when they're dead.
It really is, especially if the price doesn't change.
Yeah.
That's what I was looking for like the big print, give it, small print, take it away. Like, and I was just like, no, they're cool as whatever. We just want to see a body. Like, it's just,
They really do. Yeah, they're ready to wipe them out for sure.
and like at the end when he's like counting in the cart, I thought that was
Yeah.
really well done. Like,
Any short one.
wait a minute, I think my mat. Oh no, like it's just like.
Also, you guys talked about the music, and there is a moment too, like where the music becomes the term, I think, diegetic. Is that the term? Where like there's kind of in movie music and then out of movie music, and that kind of pulls through to the harmonica in Once Upon a Time in the West too. But what did you guys think of the musical pocket watch thing?
Definitely done better than the harmonica, in my opinion.
Okay.
And that just came down to choice of mixing. You could tell that the harmonica felt like it was part of the score, whereas this, you could tell it was in the movie.
Right.
Well, like when at the end there, when they're doing the shootout, when he weaves the tune with the music,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was really well done. I do like that the pocket watch mattered. It wasn't just like a character trait; it was actually important. I thought that was really well. That whole scene where we find out why Van Cleef is here, I think that's amazing. Actually, really, that caught me off guard because I assumed it was because they killed the dude. He does bad stuff with the lady, but then you're like, oh, so he's not the dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not. At one point, I was like, "Is this the dude?" And he's just seeing it from a third person point of view, like some weird, like Kubrick kind of weird thing. No, I actually legitimately like, and I like that he doesn't take any of the bounty. He's like, "Nope, I got what I wanted."
Yeah, it was a revenge story for him, not a bounty story.
Yeah.
The flashback scene with that was one time where I really didn't like the music. The wind chime kind of sound effect in the flashback scene, I wasn't a huge fan of it. It felt very, I guess, cheesy 60s, but I thought that was a very interesting scene because when you see her grab for the gun and she's pulling the gun up, I actually, I think if someone ever remade this movie, I think they would take more time to make it look like she's going to kill him. And then probably, and then she makes the choice to kill herself, which is wild, and I mean, obviously her lover's been killed. She probably has, she's being assaulted. Like she has a lot of reasons to not want to continue. But she shoots herself in the side, which I think, might be a long, painful death. Luckily in this movie, it's instant, but
Every bullet kills everyone instantly for the most part, unless the plot dictates other.
Right.
I noticed that as well. Like it's magic bullets. Hey, we're all playing Golden Gun and Golden Eye here. So
yeah. There was a couple moments where I thought of the John Mulaney joke where I was like, were bullets free? Because they were like using bullets to pick apples. They were using bullets to spin the guy's spurs and to ring the bell at the
Shoot a
church.
cigar. Look, it was
The hats.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I forgot about
bullets
that.
back then were
Yeah.
the same as a souped up F-150. They're there to make up for your manhood. So
I guess so. We've had a couple movies with these like man contests. I remember that came up in The Settlers, where they were out on the prairie, kind of like shooting at things and wrestling and arm wrestling. And this one, the two bounty hunters have it out shooting each other's hats. But then the hats come back and they should be like Swiss cheese. And
I think, yeah.
Good
continuity.
haberdasheries down there.
Well, I had the day off that day.
Yeah. The quality hat makers that put those right back in order.
I was the apples. I was like thinking just how bruised those apples would be when they hit the ground. That's all I could think. I was like, okay, cool. Like, also the kid's unfazed by the guns. Like, he just does not care.
Yeah, he didn't duck.
Rough town.
Yeah,
Rough town.
Yeah.
What can I say?
They did say it was a rough town. All these towns were rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
With apple trees.
Yeah.
I like the kid with the $50 sweating Clint Eastwood for the info every time, and he's flipping the thing, being like, you know what I want, like, and I think it's about $2. Then Clint Eastwood goes, "Look, I've given you enough, kid." Pretty much.
Yeah,
like,
Then he really like grabs him by the collar and
Yeah.
Entrepreneurism was alive and well back then.
Yes.
well, they're all just trying to make a living out there. I get it.
One of the humor things I really liked is when he goes into the first bank, Van Cleef, and he goes, "If I was to rob any bank, what bank should I do?" And the teller like slowly closes the vault next to him.
Yes.
That's like, I don't know how this is going to go, but like, and there's little
And
moments like
he's
that throughout it where it's sight gags more than it's like haha funny.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Like, Luke.
No, I'm with you. There's a sight
Yeah.
gag actually I noticed in particular. And maybe it's not a proper gag, but it's something I did. I'm glad you said something I wanted to address. And that is the guard at the El Paso bank who
Eating a
comes
sandwich?
and his job is to sit. Yeah. He
Yeah.
sits not only looking away from where most likely anyone would come through. Now,
Absolutely.
ironically, he ended up looking the proper direction.
Yeah.
But what I want to know is, did you see that sandwich?
I couldn't
It was
stop
huge.
thinking about that sandwich.
That was huge. What do you think it was?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, it's just bread.
what?
I saw there's a slice, but there's nothing in it.
Are you sure?
Really?
I thought
So it's just a bread sandwich?
That's what I thought it was. I
Just
thought it
a
was
big
almost
hunk
like
of
a half
bread?
of like a round loaf. But
I
there's a kind of-
immediately thought of those big sandwiches that they sell at like Safeway on the deli counter.
Oh, the
It's
Yeah.
a hero, right?
Yeah, and whenever I see those sandwiches, I make the same joke to my wife every time. Where I'm like, "Oh, do we need the giant sandwich?" And
Well,
but I always wonder who buys this giant sandwich.
I bought those giant sandwiches.
Really?
we
That's
we
amazing.
buy them and we cut them down. When
Okay.
Folk Fest is going on here in Edmonton, we cut it down and then we'll wrap them and
Sure.
and
You make a picnic. Okay.
Well, like,
okay.
that scene, by the way, like Luke pointed out, where he just happens to be staring at the safe. I did not see that scene again. Here's another thing, caught me off guard. I was not expecting that. Smart, by the way.
Mhm.
It's like Goldfinger in Goldfinger, where it's like, I'm not here to steal the thing. I'm here to make all the gold worthless, so mine's worth more. Because there's no way you could do it. And here it's like, if I come in the front, we're done. Like, we're never going to get there. There's bars after bars after bars, right?
Yeah.
But if we go through the back, which I'm assuming they do it twice, because when they spring the dude, it's the same thing. It's out the wall, right?
Mhm.
And then sliding down into the way, like, it's actually incredibly well planned for such a
yeah,
haphazard group. It seems
It was a
really
good little
well done.
heist. Yeah, it was a good little heist. I do think like Lee Van Cleef got pretty lucky though, where I guess he kind of knew that is it Indio. I think he kind of knew he was a madman and would do something crazy.
Mm.
And robbing the bank at El Paso is that
Well, he's-
crazy gesture that he was going to do.
He
But-
says that to the bank guy. If I
Well,
was
yeah,
a
right.
madman
Like he's like,
and one robbed the biggest bank, which bank would that be?
right, but then he's very lucky that that ended up being the plan because he didn't really
Yeah.
have any evidence that was the plan. Now, Indio knew about the secret cabinet. but so maybe somehow, Van Cleef knew that information was leaked to him, or he noticed that his cellmate was this carpenter that built this cabinet, or I don't know how he would ever know, but he's probably been tracking this guy for a long, long time because of the
sister.
The sister, yeah.
Yep.
Who in the Spanish
Can I
dub
ask-
is his daughter.
I was thinking,
Yeah,
can I ask, was the guy, the carpenter, was that the guy at the beginning when they spring Indio? Was that the guy, he had a cellmate when the guys
Yeah,
with the
they
stealth
shoot him.
sombreros sneak into the prison and then
Yes.
Indio kills the man on the way out?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, can I throw out a theory I just thought of now?
Okay.
All right, my boy the Cleef. I
Uh-huh.
think here's what happened. I think because this guy's a carpenter, he's a carpenter that's well trusted enough that a bank trusts him. So why is he in prison? I'm going to say, with no evidence in particular, that Lee Van Cleef sets him up so that
Mhm.
he goes to a jail,
Mhm.
knowing that somehow he'll end up in the same prison as El Indio. El Indio right now in prison, he's no good to Van Cleef, right? Like he wants to get him. He
Yeah.
wants to get him dead to rights. So he frames a man. Do you think he could be the kind of guy who frames a man, or
100%.
what makes him a patsy? Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he sets it all up.
Yeah, that's very possible that he puts those two together, knowing that will lead El Indio on this madman
Mhm.
journey. I love that. I love that.
Might I note, theories without evidence is like the basis of a whole political party in the States. So, like, you're doing fine, mate.
It's also
Great. Awesome.
It's also very akin to how I treat Happiness Patrol and all of our conversations about Star Wars.
It's true.
But you
There
you
go.
come from a place where it makes
Right.
sense.
Well, so does this. This makes sense. I
Oh, it
actually
totally
think
makes sense.
that probably is how he knows that El Indio is probably going to get broken out, and why he needs to be in this region to be looking for him, and probably what brings him to now that first town that he gets off in, where he pulls the emergency chain on the,
Tucumcari.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like why do they have a train station if the train never stops there?
Well,
Is it just-
There's an express, which he must have been on, and then
Okay.
there's the milk run that hits every single one.
okay,
Once
okay,
a week we
Oh,
get a
good
milk
point.
run, every day we get the express.
okay. I
That's
was
what
kind
I
of
saw.
wondering, like, why is there a train station if no one's ever getting off there? But I guess
Also,
it also
the
comes
general-
up in Bad Day at Black Rock that the train doesn't stop in that town, so it makes sense.
it's just the way I look at it is like, so he's respected enough, hence why the general and Clint Eastwood knows who he is. That whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's somewhat of a law enforcement, I'm going to assume, or
Lawman, yeah.
yeah. And so I feel like there's a lot of like, why don't they know who he is? like Clint Eastwood catches him right off, but none of the bad guys go, wait a minute.
That's that. corporal.
that
Well, doesn't
famous
El
movie.
Indio know who he is? Because when he says his name at the end, he's like, doesn't that name mean something to you? And I think that's more than just you knew my sister, or you were, in love with my sister and
yeah.
and couldn't get over her, and to the point where it became violent. Yeah, but I don't know if those henchmen were really all that
Right.
clever. And which brings me to the worst hunchback prosthetic I've ever seen in my life. On Klaus Kinski. It's just an absolute grade school play.
I'm watching on Amazon and I pause it at one point and it says him and he's like the hunchback. Is like, he's hunchback?
Yeah.
like I actually never put that together at all. If it hadn't said it, I would be like, oh, okay, cool, okay. I thought he was just like wounded or something.
It really reminded me of the movie Airplane when they're in the bar fight and the guy gets stabbed in the back and you could see like the piece of foam through his shirt where they're gonna stab the knife. Yeah, it was really terrible. But I mean, the fact that he walked up and like lit the match on him, like there was some pretty ultimate kind of insult moves in that scene. But he was testing them. Obviously, he knew that they couldn't react because they were doing reconnaissance for this bigger mission and couldn't get involved in anything. But yeah, I thought that Hunchback was just like terrible.
I thought he was giving him a COVID handshake, when he taps his foot, he
Yeah,
taps and starts rubbing his foot on his foot. I was like, oh, is this the early example of a COVID handshake? Like, we don't know what virus was around at the time. Maybe he's just saying hi.
Yeah.
Neither did they. So
yeah. No, but he's just big dogging him, Cleef style.
There's a pretty good
if anyone had been like, there's germs, they would have burnt them at the stake. So we're good.
Yeah, or douse them in whiskey.
Yeah.
No, they did a really good job with the tobacco as almost its own character. Lighting the pipe off of the guy's cheek, or when they shoot Eastwood's cigar out of his mouth, and he just relights it.
Yeah, it breaks it breaks it like halfway. Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know where he's maybe the saddlebag, but like he always has one. So
yeah,
there's a lot of those moments too where they like light the cigar with the pipe, or like they put the two cigars together to light it. And yeah, you're right. There was like really good tobacco acting through this whole thing, which is not easy.
Smoke, kids.
Yeah, not cool. Not cool. Winners don't take drugs. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle video game taught me that. So, pretty good old coot. There was a pretty good old coot in The Prophet who refused to move when the train was coming through. Kind of out of nowhere scene. Didn't really connect with anything else.
Kind of remind me of Rio Bravo.
Right. Yeah. Kind of like a bit of a hangout scene with like a Walter Brennan old coot character. I don't know. And there was some pretty good supporting characters throughout. The poor man whose hotel room got taken by Clint Eastwood, and he had to panic to get out of town.
Oh, and then sight gag is the hotel guy like getting up off his and like walking over.
Yeah.
And because she's like, oh, he's so tall, and she's like, what's that matter? And then he gets off and he's like little. Like it's just like like the movie doesn't try to be. It just is kind of funny. Like,
yeah, it kind of. I mean, we're at this stage of the revisionist spaghetti westerns where they're really having fun with it. They're having fun with the score. They're having fun with the lenses they're using, the lighting, the dirt, the grit, the breakdown. Like it really is kind of a fun era of Western, and very different from a lot of the stuff that came before it or that we've seen. Have you guys watched a lot of other spaghetti westerns, like other than these Dollar trilogy? No,
I haven't watched the trilogy.
Yeah, that's true. Well, and then you can really see like Once Upon a Time in the West when it.
Oh yeah.
You can see the influence of all of it once he kind of gets to his next.
Yeah. Well, venture. It's like Kill Bill feels like a mix of this and like Kurosawa in a weird way. Like Quentin Tarantino has never been shy about saying like, look, I borrow a lot. And I think that's what good, we see further when we stand on the shoulders of giants. And Quentin Tarantino recognized that. And I'm not bashing him at all because I don't need him to like compare me to Tarantino or something. But it's like, but like, I actually legitimately like it. I think it's fun when you see, oh, that's where this is from. Oh, that's where the whole "I'm your father" thing comes from. That kind of stuff, right? And it's really interesting. And it's when it's done right, you can't tell. When it's done very well, instantly. Like and this is one of those ones. It's a fun movie. Editing, I alluded earlier. I do feel it's a little long.
Agreed.
Yeah, and that's I think when Dave was talking about how it did lose me for like I watched over 2 sit-ins, an hour, and then I finished it up at a couple hours later. I'm wondering if that helped me enjoy it more.
Break it up
a little, and I didn't find myself reaching for my phone or anything. Most of these films I don't, unless John Wayne's in it. But it's I just turn off to that, man. I really do. But I really enjoyed it, but edited. I think it could be a little tighter. I didn't need the hat to be shot as many times. I didn't need as much, like
Yeah,
deflation as there is. I get it. You have a hideout; it's in the middle of nowhere. I assumed it was going to end with a big shootout at the bank, so it was really part of me was like, "Oh, cool, we're like 20 minutes from the end or something," and then it went on for another hour, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
I still love all this. It's just not. That's my fault, not the movie's fault."
yeah.
So,
Not what you were expecting.
no,
You
but
know, again, kind of that James Bond thing too, where there was a few moments where they definitely could have just killed these two guys and got them out of their
oh, yeah.
way. And the one scene that I really kind of dislike and was kind of like not in on was when they have them captured because they figure out they pull them off the roof because they were going to steal the money, and then they just kind of beat them up and laugh at them. That is kind of a dumb scene, because I think in a world where people are getting killed constantly, they would have just killed them both.
Yeah.
Unless there was some advantage to keeping them alive that I can't think of.
Fun.
Yeah,
Well,
fun, and then just that badly dubbed kind of cackling laughter that was going on in that scene. That's one scene I think went on way too long. There were a few. I think there was kind of a game plan, because I think El Indio did say that he knew they were bounty hunters the whole time and was hoping to use them to get away with.
that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Them keeping them alive. It's a thin reason, but it is a reason. So
Yeah, I mean, there's a million times where the bad guy could have killed James Bond as well, and just chooses not to. Of course, Austin Powers made fun of it very easily with the with frickin'
Boots over shoe. I know what you're talking about.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, there's definitely like just shoot them, But
Plot
again,
armor.
yeah, if you're hoping that later keeping these guys around will allow you to make off with all this money and not have to split it with all your guys, then maybe there is a point to it. But
Which is really weird, because when they're breaking them out, why don't you just kill all your dudes? Like, just like stabby, because that seems to be working, and then you don't need this extra step. Like it's
again, this could be my fault, but that's the part of the movie around that point where I did find the plot a little hard to follow. And I found that, some of the henchmen kind of all looked alike. And there were a few moments where people were like teaming up together to like flip the, maybe turn people in or steal the money. But I kind of not that I wasn't paying attention. I was trying to pay attention, but that was the part of the movie where I was just kind of like, wait, what's happening? I maybe it lost me a little bit, and maybe it was a bit in the pacing and the editing and the length at that point.
9 days to write this, you said?
9 days.
Yeah. So it got what, third actitis?
Perhaps. Yeah. Especially when you have these two characters that have proven themselves to be pretty, the great marksmen and pretty slippery and fearful. When you have them kind of in a moment where you can just get rid of them and not have to worry about them again, I feel like in most cases you would.
on the edit and I got mad about the hats, the very first shoot up. But there is something that matters in that, which is after I think the third hit on the hat, Clint Eastwood can't hit the hat anymore. So the guy goes, "Oh, this is the distance I'm safe at."
Yeah.
Because he shoots at the hat a couple of times more, misses. And he's got the long gun that says, or the long pistol with the right that says, "I can hit you, you can't hit me." Do I need it to be that much? No. Modern filmmaking would have somehow figured that out faster, but it is interesting, and it never comes up again. But I thought I was like, oh, okay, this is where we're going with this. 9 days to write. I think Luke was correct. I believe maybe a second or third pass might have cleaned
it up a little. That ending at the end, where they're in that ring and there's going to be this shootout, but it's not fair, and then Clint Eastwood steps in, makes it fair, but kind of stays out of it for the most part. you can see the seeds of the good, the bad, and the ugly at that point, where they know that they want to build to this, like, Mexican standoff or this big kind of moment, but it does kind of solidify, especially the flashback and the watch and all this thing. It does kind of solidify that it's Lee Van Cleef's story more than it is Manco's. Manco is kind of a facilitator. He's the Chewbacca to the Han Solo.
The littlest of hobos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's along for the ride, and he's making these big moves throughout. For instance, joining the gang because is it Mortimer? He couldn't have joined the gang. They knew enough that he was like not going to be one of them.
He also says the minute he showed up, I knew he was a bounty killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it is alluded in there that like the third, it's muddled, but it's alluded that I'm sure he knew that the one Van Cleef was on his trail, that because that's years in the making.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's figured out, and then he did mention the other one when they were breaking them out. The minute I saw him, I knew he was a bounty killer.
Yeah. I love that they were hanging out in the church, just chilling in the church the whole time, and there was some kind of really cool scenery and cool imagery. I thought it was pretty brutal when he killed that guy's family in front of him, and and the idea that like, hey, you profited off putting me in jail, so it's kind of shows kind of their disdain for the idea of a bounty hunter,
or a traitor even.
Yeah, true. Just like someone that turned him in, and he's going to go back, but he understands like revenge is revenge. That's a whole thing. I don't really have very many other notes about it. Obviously, there was a lot of other actors that were considered. Charles Bronson was originally offered the role in Fistful and turned it down. And
Death Proof is a better film.
Yeah. And Clint Eastwood was able to do it because he was on a TV contract, and his TV contract said he couldn't make movies in the US, but his agent was like, well, there's these Italian movies, and we could send you to Italy and Spain, and you could do this one in your downtime between seasons. And so he was like, okay, well, yeah, I'll go do that. And for the opportunity to get into films and the cinema and everything, I think TV actors and film actors were very separated at the time, so there was kind of a good reason for both of them to do it.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of neat that he didn't. I read a story. They filmed them very, very close together, and before he would agree to do the second one, the first hadn't come out yet.
Mm-hmm.
And he hadn't seen it, so they actually rushed a cut of the Italian version of it to him, so he couldn't watch it in English, but he could watch it in Italian, a Fistful of Dollars in Italian. So he got it. And it's like, this is what we're going for. Excuse the fact that it's not in English.
Yeah.
We're doing it again.
Like
will you please come back? And then he said yes.
It's weird to think, like, because when you throw out like all the names, nowadays it's like held up like, wow, this is whatever. But it's the same as like Lucas being all like, I don't know if I get a second one. You're like, nowadays you're like, that's a no-brainer. But to think that it was like an unknown, just listen to the score, it was going to get 2 more. It's that good.
Yeah, I also read a story where Clint Eastwood was on a set of another movie or another show and was reading reviews of this movie that everyone really loved, and it was called for a few dollars more, and that wasn't the working title that he shot under. So he was waiting for his movie, The Magnificent Strangers, to come out. And when he's reading all these reviews, he's like, wow, this movie sounds great. I want to see this one. And then he realized, oh, I'm in it. He had no clue that's the one that we're talking
stuff
about.
Like that is really cool. I like that.
It's a wildly successful franchise. And I mean, Lee Van Cleef was completely broke prior to this, and kind of to get this opportunity changed his life. And he said a few times that these 3 movies or 2 movies were huge in kind of his resurgence and kind of got him back on track and made him kind of a household name. He had turned up a lot as kind of a bad guy or you know a bit part, and he's in High Noon. He's in some of these big movies, but just usually as kind of a backgroundy kind of bad guy.
Mhm.
And this put him, you know, even more so than Clint Eastwood. I think this put him in like the forefront of the film, you know.
Definitely, because he did arguably a better job than Eastwood,
Mm,
and that's
yeah,
not
I would
taking
agree.
away from Eastwood.
right.
I think
Um,
he's the main character is
yeah.
what comes out of it, like
For
you were
sure.
saying before. So
And this is how he became Luke's boy.
So it also
My boy
spawned off a
Cleve.
bunch of books
My
too.
boy Cleve.
Oh, they made books out of this?
Yeah, there was another. There was the novelization of the 3 movies, but there was
Yeah.
another 5 books after that.
neat.
Most of them by Joe Millard, who also did 2 out of 3 of the novelizations.
Mm.
And
really
one
cool.
by Todd Hunter Ballard under a different pseudonym.
I did read that when Van Cleef passed, Clint Eastwood did go to the funeral.
Hmm.
He hadn't gone to many before that of his, but this was one he did go to.
Okay.
I was
So
kind of doing a little research here. I was trying to be my own little Cameron on this one, but
Yeah, exactly.
How dare you? How dare you? We already have too many of those. Well,
So
let's
is
get into
Van
our.
Cleef Leo then?
What's that?
Was that?
We
Oh,
called
Van
him
Cleef
Donatello.
Leonardo?
I'm trying to figure out who's the Leo. Is there
No,
a
he's
Leo?
Donatello. He's Donatello, and
Yeah.
Donatello, Raphael's Clint,
Yeah.
Matt Monco.
I think Splinter is the old coot, the prop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know a
And,
Leo in this thing.
I don't think so.
I'm
there
gonna
no
call
Leo?
it. I think there's a Leo.
The redheaded
there's a
lady
Leo.
and the redheaded lady in
That's
the
April.
hotel.
I was thinking the guy who works at the hotel who takes things so seriously and then
Yeah.
steps down the
Oh,
short
yeah,
little
yeah,
sight
yeah.
gig. I think he's the closest
that's
we get to
more-
Leo.
I think he's the Splinter.
You think he's the Splinter? Okay.
What
Yeah,
about
for
what
that
about the
side.
guy? What about the guy with the sandwich?
Oh, geez, that guy's also Michelangelo because he's having
Yeah.
the best day until
'Cause-
things explode. Which, by the
And
way,
it
just
is
so you guys
food.
know, I did zoom in at one after we were discussed what was in the sandwich. I did play the scene on my computer. Scott, you're right. It is a lot of bread, but there's something in there.
Okay.
Because
Because it's
yeah,
cut.
at first-
it's cut at the bottom.
yeah,
Like,
it's
there
got
is
the cut.
Yeah.
There's cut, huge loaf of bread. I thought that in my initial viewing from the tub that it was a bunch of deli turkey, which I was going to posit the question of how do you get deli turkey there? But yeah,
Mhm.
no, you're right. Like that's, I'm going to guess that it is. I'm going to call it a cheese sandwich. I'm going to call it a
Yeah, I could
cheese
see that.
sandwich, something that's going to last those hours that you can wrap in a fabric and
Also, Italy has
Oh.
good cheese. That would make sense to me.
I don't think you're
Absolutely.
getting into. I don't think you're getting into lettuce or tomato at this point.
No,
But
no.
I could see like a good like chorizo or something in there. Maybe some kind of selection of
At
Italian.
this time
meat.
period, they might have seen a tomato their whole life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
certainly not apple and brie or anything like that. But
Yeah, and it's
if
a
we could
sourdough,
get
I
to the
think,
bottom
too.
of this
Yeah.
sandwich, I would like to make one. I just don't know if I could possibly eat that much bread in one sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's a lot.
I'm watching it on repeat right now, just so you know. Okay, it's 10 seconds now.
Let's
so
go to
as
the
we
video
pause-
judge.
Yeah. Oh man, this is tough. This is tough to tell.
We almost
Well-
need like maybe we'll get AI involved and they can do kind of like a 3D model of the whole set.
Enhance.
Our our sandwich on film count is at 1 in this movie, and it is some sandwiches.
It is some
I think-
sandwiches. Yeah.
Yeah.
One
That's
sandwich is
gold
still
sandwich.
some sandwiches when it's that big.
Yeah, when it's that
How
and
High
impactful
Water
on the
had
top.
steak. I'm trying to
Yeah,
think
and
what-
he's
I'm trying to think of another
going to
sandwich.
town.
He's very
He's going
excited
to town
about
on
this
this
thing.
thing.
Let's get into
Yeah.
our horses on film count.
Probably Maverick.
Let's
While they're
count
playing
some
poker. I
horses.
bet you he ate one.
Dave,
Yeah,
what do
geez,
you
that's
think
tough.
for? Yeah, I think the
How many-
sandwich thing is not going to get solved.
For the podcast sandwiches on film,
Yeah,
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm.
I mean, I love a sandwich. I recently partook in the Jeff Daniels sandwich. Have you guys heard about the Jeff Daniels sandwich?
I'm
It's
not
No.
a
sure.
he was asked what his favorite sandwich was, and he described this sandwich that he kept. And I just every step was a surprise, but it was essentially a pita bread. You don't open it up, you just lay it flat. A thick amount of creamy peanut butter, crushed up Ruffles sour cream and cheddar chips, barbecue sauce, and then you fold the pita over. And so I made it. I had to know, and it was upsetting how good it was. Like it in every step of the way, you kind of go, well, the barbecue sauce is going to throw it off, and all the chips are going to throw it off. Oh, that much peanut butter is going to throw it off. But somehow it all comes together, and it's a beautiful sandwich. I do appreciate it.
I've definitely heard of it, and it may or may not have come from you.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
maybe
talked
I
about it in
maybe
the
have
last
been.
one, actually, now I think about it.
Did we talk about the last
Sounds like
episode?
a-
I think so too.
Oh, I
Actually,
love it. I love it. It's
Yeah,
very, very
sandwiches
good.
on film.
Yeah,
after
Yeah, sounds like a
having
grilled
Cameron
Charlie.
explain that sandwich, I think he's the Michelangelo.
I
Yes.
am definitely, of all of us, I am not a party dude. But all right, we're gonna do our
Just there.
horses on film count. You alluded to it earlier, Dave. What do you think? You went.
I'd say lots of
some
horses.
You're into
They're-
lots. Okay.
They're not like major characters, but everybody's got a horse. And they do, without a horse, they couldn't pull the wagon to
Yeah.
steal the safe. There's just a lot of horses.
The
It's not
coolest
an
scene in
outrageous
this,
amount. It's not all the horses, but there's definitely a lot of horses.
yeah, the coolest scene in this movie is there's a lot of horses. Without the
Yeah.
horses, it couldn't happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So a lot is really good. I
Yeah,
think Dave
the-
might actually be right for once.
Yeah, the scene where they are robbing the Santa Cruz bank to distract and get all the guards away from the El Paso bank. There's enough horses where you probably could count them if you were quick on the draw, but you almost do lose track.
Mhm.
What do you think, Luke? Out of no horses, some horses, lots of horses, and all the horses, where do you think this
Okay,
stands?
well, Street Fighter Legend of Chun Li,
Yeah.
none of the horses.
Okay.
Yeah,
really not
but
one?
then
It surprises me.
no, the
So-
biggest horse is Neil McDonough's beautiful big wet eyes in
Yeah.
that one.
It's because you didn't unlock the character. You got to A B, left, right,
Select.
BA start.
Maybe
Yeah.
left right. Okay, that's good to know. Next time I watch one of the worst movies I've ever seen, Street Fighter Legend of Chun Li, I will scream
It's really
AB
bad.
AB. Perfect. It is. It truly is.
really
And then this one, I would say with that paradigm, I would say agreed. Lots of horses. Thinking, of course, of that sequence of the distraction and everyone getting their posse together and riding, and then the actual crimes, and when they shoot out the not the telephone, but the what
The
is
telegraph. The
Telegraph.
thank you, the telegraph poles.
Yeah.
That's a good posse. It's posse heavy. They really appreciate and embrace the nature of a posse, and a posse is men on horses, and there's lots of them.
Well,
Yeah. 100%.
a posse is just friends you haven't met yet. So
Yeah, it's the friends you meet along the way, along the trail.
on the
Yeah.
horses.
Yeah, I'm with
Oh.
you guys too. I think lots of horses. I think that like that scene, especially, but even just the horses that are in there are beautiful horses. Like the one Clint Eastwood's riding, the dark brown black one that Lee Van Cleef has. It even like has a bit of a high step to it, like it was almost like a polished like dressage horse, and they were so shiny in the sun, and I just thought they were beautiful.
Could
I
it
was
be,
a little off put in the one scene where he kills in the Billy the Kid bounty, where he kills the horse. Normally you don't see that, especially from the people that are meant to be kind of the good guys. Yeah.
could Van Cleef's horse be trained? If he's from the military, could this be a military horse?
It could very well be like
It's
a
really
military
good.
horse. It was definitely high stepping, like it had some polish to it. So yeah, it could be. And also it kind of goes in with that James Bond kind of cool gadget thing. If he had some kind of horse that was like a little bit
Well,
more educated and trained, it'd be like very
the
cool.
horse's name was Aston Martin. So
Maybe it's official breeding name. Let's get into ratings. I think that some of those have been alluded to already, but let's start with you, Luke. Out of 5, what do you think?
I'm giving this one a good 4 out of 5 on this bad
4 out of
boy.
5.
You
All
know,
right.
great, but it's not perfect. Good, the bad, and the ugly holds that 4.5 to 5 for me in my heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. I couldn't agree more. I think whatever you put good, the bad, and the ugly at, I think this rightfully should be a little bit under that, if
Just a
not.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Dave,
Better than Fistful, but yeah.
It's definitely a bigger world than Fistful. You know,
Yes.
like there's a lot
Mhm.
more. There's more towns. There's more action. There, you know, like it feels like Fistful with that little extra budget.
well, like because they're showing off new planets, Bespin. There's Hawk. there's all sorts in this one. They're just expanding the universe.
I'm running out of water here,
Yeah.
and
I
I
have to
started
give
it
you-
because I put Boba Fett in the intro too. So
I guess true, actually.
Cam,
Ooh.
I have to give you full credit because you just said it felt like Fistful, but with a little bigger budget. Would you say it had a few dollars more?
I would even wager
Great,
this.
folks.
Ooh,
It's
well,
stop.
Absolutely,
it's been a pleasure.
absolutely.
I had a good run. And
That's a
win.
win. That's a win, and we'll
Man,
take.
Luke's is the first guest we never asked back. That's
Yeah.
interesting.
No, that's not even close to true. But, okay, well, Dave, what's your rating out of 5?
If we had a slightly more nuanced scale, I'd probably give it a 375. But
Probably what's gonna end up with.
I'm rounding that up to a 4.
Okay, yeah.
And I
you
think
know,
that's reasonable.
there's nothing to say we couldn't in the future or now do a 375. I think we've done it in the past, and the math usually kind of works out. But if you want to round up, you can go.
I'm happy to round it up to 4. It's a good movie. I'm not docking it because I don't like it. I'm or that because I couldn't pay attention to it or anything like that. I think a 4 is fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially where it sits in like the full, like as part of the genre, you know, like the full like Western oeuvre of like, okay, yes, this is, you know, it's Leone, it's Marconi, Van Cleef, Eastwood. There's a lot to it. 4 stars. All right.
Yep.
Scott, are you around there?
So, cinematography, I really liked. Music, I really liked. Van Cleef's great. Like everyone, I actually really liked it. Editing could be a little tighter.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be interested in if they would expand the character. Maybe a sequel and a prequel would be really good.
Yeah.
You'd imagine that would go a long way. Saying all that, I give it a 2.
2.
No, I'm joking. It's a 4.5 in my books.
Oh wow. Okay.
I really
totally the other way.
Difference between a 4 and a 4.5 for me is whether I would watch it again. 4.5 and 5 is like this is one of the few on my list that I probably should have watched even before we started this, like that trilogy. So, and I'm not a Westerns guy. I've said this more than once. But this is so. But what I found myself in is I found myself smiling a lot during this, being just like, I'm enjoying this. This is just fun. Like it's just like, and then the sight gigs on top, the little things there. They don't celebrate them. They're just there. Whether you get it or not, like Easter eggs for the people who are paying attention. Clint Eastwood is fantastic. I wish he was seen more for this than Dirty Harry, personally. I do like Gran Torino and $1 Million Baby. $1 Million Baby is a little, but Gran Torino is really great. I really like that. Like his later work, if he did another Western, I would like it to be like Unforgiven. I think that'd be really good. But like it's a 4.5 for me. It's an easy, fun. I can recommend this to people. Maybe I'd recommend watching maybe them in order, but you're telling me I don't have to, which that was the waiver in between 4 and 4.5 for me, is whether it really lends. But I can see myself watching this again and having a good time.
Yeah, I really think you could watch it in any order. And like I say, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is set during the Civil War. So it's set even before this. And these are all kind of post Civil War, this and Fistful. So like I really think there's no wrong way to watch these. And even for me, I've seen so many scenes randomly from these movies so many times that they all kind of blend into one movie for me, and it doesn't hurt it. I think the only thing that I'm at 3.5 on my rating, and the only thing that keeps it from a 4 for me is just because I kind of lost the plot a little, and the idea of him, like the revenge story and the flashback. I felt like they had to go to the flashback twice, but not in that kind of like Rashomon way where you learn anything new necessarily. Other than, I guess, the second time is the only time you see that she's killed herself, maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, so I just kind of felt like they could have tightened it up more. You could have learned sooner that Van Cleef had a different mission. And then at the same time, if he did have this different mission, why was he out there capturing bounties ahead of time? Other than maybe he needed the money so that he can go to the bank and say, I'm depositing this money in your bank, and then get the intel on the bank and everything. So I just kind of felt like there was a little bit of a plot that I was trying to follow. And like you said, Dave, there was points where I couldn't really concentrate on it. And all those scenes where they were captured and they were getting beat up, and there was something about that didn't connect with me. And maybe they were trying to go to too many locations and have too many standoffs along the way. They tried to make it a little too big, whereas Fistful is a pretty tight little story, and Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a big story in a different way. That I like the Bedeker, I kind of like a simple plot line. I do like something that has undertones of tension and stuff, but on the surface seem a little bit more straightforward. But then in the same sense, I do really enjoy the way the plot unfolds in Once Upon a Time in the West. So I think that you can see that the Once Upon a Time in the West, like the influence is in there of like the music out of the pocket watch and the way you learn people's motivations kind of late in the game and stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this one, I just didn't think it was quite. I mean, it took 9 days to write, and a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and I think they were filling it with really cool, interesting things, but not necessarily following it along a path that I enjoyed.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No. 9 days, like what? 7 people.
Yeah.
You're like, okay. There's a book called Good Omens, where Terry Pratchett wrote a chapter and went, I don't know where this is going, sent to Neil Gaiman. Neil Gaiman wrote the second chapter, not knowing. They sent it back and forth, not knowing where it was going to go. Is that the reason why this changes scenes every like 10 minutes? Is because that's a different writer? And that's why they got it done in 9 days, and they
Could
just
be
like
kinda-
glued it all together in some order.
Yeah, it could be kind of different. Yeah, I mean, I wonder if even the James Bond movies are a little like that too, where he writes kind of cool things to happen and then finds a way to thread them together.
Because it kind of feels like a season of television, which might have a different writer per episode, and then scrunched together. Like,
Yeah, it's possible. All right.
I have no basis on this theory. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I love a random theory like the one Luke had earlier about the carpenter. Like, it's perfect. It actually really
I have another theory. I think it's a brie apple sandwich.
Okay.
With a little bit of jam.
Yeah,
That's my other theory. Yeah.
Just a touch of jam.
Just a touch,
it.
I think so. Just
Yeah.
I don't know. He stays pretty neutral as he takes a bite. You can watch it if you need to at any moment.
I do love a brie and pear. Absolutely.
His mom did allude a week earlier that she was a big fan of brie and pear.
Yeah. Okay.
And then
they were shooting those apples.
Worked on
those apples out of the tree, and those are going to just spoil if you don't.
Well,
the pear farm.
It's in the area. It's in the area.
Mhm.
for
that's
sure.
fun.
So
And then
1
when he was a
hour,
young,
16 minutes, 24 seconds. Sorry.
Yeah.
when he was a young boy, he talked about how brie was his favorite cheese. This is in the prequel to the prequel, and
Yeah,
so brie was his favorite cheese,
Yeah.
and then so his mom, when he would go to work, would make him brie and apple sandwiches. But then he threw some pear in there as a allude to the father, who went out for a few dollars more himself,
Yeah.
and
That's when
Yeah.
Hershey.
Yeah.
never came back.
never came back.
Pear
'Cause the-
being, of course, French for father.
yeah, because the
Yeah.
train never
Yeah.
stopped at a stop anymore. He always missed the milk run. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? You know
It's
his
all
mom's
coming
name
together.
was?
Brie.
It was Brie.
Brie.
Well, yeah.
Brie.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
Yeah.
9/11 was an inside job.
Yeah.
Dave, are you okay? It looks like you have a headache.
Yeah. Something's for some reason something's just tweaking in my head here. I
Or
don't
like
know
some
what
kind
it
of
is.
buzzing in your ear, perhaps, right now.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, episode 8 is a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
what
absolutely. Go Last Jedi. List worthy. Are we keeping it? It's a top 5 on the list. I wouldn't put it in my top 5, but I definitely think all three of these
Are all three
dollars.
on the list?
All three are on the list.
Yes.
Is this the
I wasn't
only
sure.
multiple film franchises where all of them are on the list?
It's gotta be. I don't think there's any other trilogies that would even enter into it.
I don't know anymore. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
The interesting thing
everything
is,
else is. I mean, there's multiple directors. There's original versions of stuff. There's remakes of stuff.
so like even like Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, like yes, they're not like Batman 1, Batman 2, Batman 3. So
Mhm.
if you didn't know that these were connected, a few dollars more and a few for a few dollars like that, okay, I see that. But a Good and Bad, the Ugly, if you didn't know from outside, you wouldn't know that's part of these, right? And I feel I'm that way.
Not unless you really recognize the character or anything like
Yeah.
that. But even still, like literally, they had to have a lawsuit to say he's not the same character, just to avoid having to pay royalties out. So it's I think it's a like a spiritual sequel, spiritual trilogy. It's vibes. It's vibes. It's a little, I mean, not unlike maybe, I mean, we've talked about him before, but like a Wes Anderson or a Christopher Guest, where you have kind of the same players and the same idea, but you just kind of put them in new settings and, so, but yeah, you're right. Like there's no other really connected movies on this list where they're all represented. I wasn't sure about Fistful last week, but Dave looked it up and it is in there. It's like 84 or
82 or
86.
something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So
Quick and the Dead. I don't have the list in front of me.
That is also on there, yes. It
It's
is on
on-
there. I literally
It's
looked
not
it up
Quick and the Dead.
today.
The Good, the
So
Bad, and
yes,
the
I
Ugly.
know it's on the list. I just don't remember where.
Good and Bad, the Ugly is top 10, I believe.
Okay. So they're saying the first one is the worst on this list.
That's what they're saying. Yeah. Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is number 13. Fistful is number 83. And for a few dollars more is 4. So they're basically saying that this is the top one of the 3. And I just can't agree with that, because I think Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, I mean, the score alone, I mean, we'll get to it when we cover it, and maybe we'll rewatch it and feel different, but I've seen it a lot, and I can't imagine rating it lower than this one,
Well, they can.
Yeah, but we'll see. And I think we'll see if all 3 of these end up on our list too. And
Luke,
Yo.
you just heard these numbers. Would you agree with the IndieWire on this? That this is the best of the 3? Nope.
No,
How would you?
I mean, I
how would
like.
you rate them?
I'd go Good, the Bad, and the Ugly as the top. Like that one's just like that one's a full champ, right?
Mhm.
Total champion. It's cowboy perfection on screen, dare I say, to the people watching more cowboy movies than I. Then I would give for a few dollars more, just because that one's always drawn me in a little bit. And then Fistful of Dollars, as I mentioned, that's the one that falls to the back. Now, what this is putting into stark reality is that I need to rewatch all of them,
Mhm.
because sometimes informed by your previous pretensions, because I might be saying that's what I think. But you know what? 10 years ago, I was a different person. When I watched those movies 10 years ago, I was probably like, well, everybody loves Fistful of Dollars. I'm going to be the cool guy who likes for a few dollars more. Right.
The
But
contrarian.
exactly, there's a
Yeah.
risk of that. And that's why it's
Yeah.
important to give these things another watch and
Mhm.
evaluate on your own.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I hope
Oh,
anyone watching this would do the same. Like
yeah.
just because we haven't covered them yet, might as well sit down and watch all three of them now.
Yeah.
And
And I do
we
want to
will get to
say, oh no, I was just gonna say Street Fighter Chun Li, that one's at the very top. That's the best of the group.
that's
Sorry,
the
go
best.
ahead.
What is the best
Yeah.
Street Fighter movie that has been done?
The
Because they're
animated
doing
one.
they're doing a new one, aren't they?
Yes.
They are. Orville Peck is it
Oh,
Vega?
yeah. Orville Peck is Vega.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really actually the cast is crazy. Eric Andre, a bunch of right wing like podcasty people. The new
Oh,
Mortal
good.
Kombat looks really good.
Yeah, yeah.
And the last
Johnny
one was
Cage.
really good. And the first one was really good. They never made a
Yeah, there
sequel
you
to
go.
the first one, so that's fine.
No,
Well,
no,
maybe the
there's
best-
no it got annihilated, yeah.
Maybe the best
Yeah.
Street Fighter is still yet to be made.
Oh,
There we go.
Yeah, Sinatra did a song about that, right?
Yeah.
The best
So-
is yet to come. The
Best
best
is
Street
yet to
Fighter is
come.
yet to come.
no, I put that together too at that point.
Yeah.
Dave, Cam, would you agree with Luke's list? I'm just curious for
Yeah.
me because I haven't seen them.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what I would do.
I really liked Fistful of Dollars, and part of that is because I really like Yojimbo,
Mhm.
and I like the story there. I did not have a chance to rewatch A Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Mm.
It's longer still than this one, not by a lot, but it is. I think it's something like 131 minutes or something.
Yeah, it's pretty long.
I didn't have a chance to watch it before it left Amazon. And again, I watched this one 3 times because trying to dial in. But I can't give a proper placement for that. But I put A Fistful of Dollars above this, not far above this. I gave it a straight 4 as opposed to 3.75. So like we're talking,
Yeah,
a little bit better.
So we're saying a few dollars more. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Street Fighter Chun Li.
Yeah.
Yes.
That sounds right.
Just double check.
100%.
Yeah, that's exactly what we settled on, I think. So that's perfect.
Yeah.
I asked. You said.
I'll add it to the list.
Listen.
Speaking of adding things to the list, is there anything that you guys can imagine if for some reason one of these movies or this movie in particular came off the list? Anything else that you can imagine could maybe go on?
Street Fighter.
Maybe
Legend
Street
Chun-Li.
Fighter Chun-Li. I thought of one that I mentioned before, Vera Cruz from 1954. I think that might be one that we could explore in a bonus episode. It's a little somewhere between this and The Professionals. Kind of that Mexican Revolution kind of thing going on in it. And it was gritty and dirty and spaghetti Western looking 10 years before spaghetti Westerns. So it kind of got in there like set the tone. As far as spaghetti Westerns, there's a one called Bullet for the General. 1967 came after this. It's a lot more political. The story's maybe not as good, but there's some really good action. It's some really interesting stuff. And then one that really jumped out at me was because I was researching bounty hunters and I did rewatch it, was The Bravados, which is 1958. It's a late 50s. Again, it's somebody. The lead character is avenging the assault and murder of his family, and he's convinced that these 4 people that are scheduled to be hanged are the ones, and it's kind of this pursuit of them, blinded by what could possibly be the truth. It's a very interesting and pretty dark movie considering it's 1958. Yeah.
Movie that I've seen, that not for this, but outside of this, it reminded me of the most, and Don't know why. I think it's the little like the darker humor or the humor as the Hateful Eight is actually where again Quentin Tarantino doing the whatever on the list. But that's the first thing that popped to my mind while I was watching it with the little things. Yeah, it's a single cabin, a little different. Bounty hunters doing their own thing. I get that. But I
Mhm.
don't know why. Don't ask me. But more than once I went, that reminded me of this.
Yeah, and even Django Unchained, which we've mentioned a few times. Certainly, there's aspects of that that pull from this for sure. And he makes, like you say, he makes no qualms about borrowing and stealing and paying homage and all that stuff. So yeah, I could see that. Yeah. All right. I think I want to mention next week before we get into who we are and where we are. Next week we're going to number 24 on the list. I mentioned 1958 with the Bravados. This is also 1958. Anthony Mann's Man of the West, starring Gary Cooper, Julie London. It's 100 minutes. It's currently streaming on Amazon and Plex and Tubi, so it's really easy to get to. It's free. Man of the West. Have any of you guys seen Man of the West?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. All right. Well, it's Anthony Mann, and I've talked about him a few times because he's kind of a wild looking individual and a wild character as far as Western directors go. He's got a lot of good Westerns, good noirs as well. But I really like The Furies, which is one that we're gonna do a bonus episode on. I'm gonna pitch that a lot probably next week when we're talking about Man of the West. But Man of the West is a good one, and it's a skews a little dark as well. I think maybe right around the end of the 50s, 58, 59, you start to see the Day of the Outlaws and the Bravados and the some of these things that do get a little dark and maybe pave the way for some of these Italian spaghettis. So yeah, Dave, where in the world will we find you other than Horses on Film?
You can find me all over the place. On Sundays, you can find me on Spill the Geek Tea at Spill the Geek T1. Tuesdays, I talk Doctor Who over on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS. First Thursday of every month, along with Cameron and Scott on Happiness Patrol, youtube.com/@happinesspatrolshow. And in between all that, I'm doing board game related stuff over on youtube.com/theratHole.dotca. That's theratHole.ca, but YouTube does not like URLs in their URLs. Scott, where can we find you?
Breakfast Scotch National, trying to make sense of this world. We film a little ahead of time. There's been a lot of news lately. I won't allude to that. Yeah, the laughing should help that. What the hell? Beyond that, probably I keep saying it every week. We're almost there for that. Pawn and Pixel. Stay tuned for that. I have an event coming up soon. We're doing retro LAN party. I'm gonna hook. I just bought 20 computers, so I'm gonna hook all those together, and we're gonna just play some old school late 90s, early 2000s PC games. It's gonna be fun. But by the time you see this, it'll be over. But
so fun. So fun that
but it was so good. We're gonna do another one.
Yeah. Become a thing.
I've been trying to hunt down Jolt, but Jolt's illegal to cross the border, and they don't make it anymore. You can find it in specialty stores in states. So I figured out a way to have Jolt without Jolt, and no, I'm not making it myself.
Like Jolt Cola? That's
Jolt
like
Cola. How do you have a LAN party without Jolt?
Yeah, you gotta have a LAN party. You gotta have Jolt. Yeah.
So I figured it out. I'm gonna get koozies with the Jolt logo made, so that it doesn't matter what drink you drink, it'll be Jolt. It's the closest I can get.
I would say that you need those chewy Chips Ahoy cookies too.
Oh yeah.
Where you
We're
peel
doing
it back
pizza.
and like the soft.
We got pizza. I debated pizza pops, but I thought that'd be a little whatever.
And a McCain deep and delicious cake.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But the list of games, there's about 40 games on there, and they're just almost all of them. So it's so good.
Cool. How about you, Luke? Are you out in the world, or are you a man of mystery?
I'm there and I'm not. So you know what? The best way you could ever find me is on Letterbox. I'm Sack Lunch 88, a reference to the classic film Sack Lunch where Elaine Bennis asks, how did the family get into the sack? Is it a large sack lunch, or did they get shrunk down to go into the lunch bag? One day I hope to find the answer, but until such a time, I'll survive with just living as best I
Yeah.
can.
And the
Yeah.
knowledge that somewhere out there, there's a delicious brie and pear sandwich.
I was going to ask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
accurate?
there it is. I'm looking at it now.
Is
Looking at
that
it
it?
now.
Snack lunch 88?
He's sack lunch 88. Just take away the ed.
Okay.
Sack lunch.
Sack lunch. Sack lunch.
Sack lunch 88. You got
There we go.
it.
All right.
Wow, that was quick. That was on the fly.
I know.
Baby.
I know. We like to
We're doing it
put
live.
Dave under a lot of pressure. That's our goal here. All right. Well, I want to say personally, thank you very much, Luke, for being with us. I really appreciate it. It's great. I've been meaning to get you on one of these at some point soon, and I did notice on this list, and we talked about it. There's 2 other movies in this trilogy, and they're all there. So clear your schedule, because we'll definitely try to get you back for those.
Privilege, pleasure, honor.
Right on. Well, I'm Cameron. You can find me also on Letterboxd. I'm Cameron Chapman, mostly watching Westerns and Star Wars over and over. That's what I do. Also watching as many times as I can Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie, because that was incredible. And I can't get over how they managed to do that. What a great movie. And then Horses on Film also has a letterbox. That's letterbox.com, Horses on Film. On there, we're going through, we're making our lists, we're liking reviews, we're reading every review for every movie we cover, and commenting and liking and trying to build a little community. We got a pretty good hunk of followers over there, and I hope people are enjoying kind of what we're doing. We'll see. We got an Instagram, Horses on Film podcast. That's where you can watch the little intro videos if you're just listening to this. This one has some clips from Star Wars. So if you're a Star Wars fan and enjoy drinking every time we say Star Wars, get in there on that one. And then, we've got an email too, horsesonfilm.com and horsesonfilm@gmail.com. Leave us a message. Let us know how you would rank the Dollars trilogy. What's your favorite of the 3? And are there any that maybe don't belong on this list? If we need to make room for some of these other films that we love, maybe all 3 of these aren't going to be on there. We'll see as we get through them. But thank you again, everybody. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Luke, for coming. This is so great. I really appreciate it. And one last person to thank, of course, is our composer, Brett Alec Bailey, composed our beautiful theme song. So in the meantime, I'm going to go make myself the biggest sandwich I could possibly make. I don't know if there's going to be chips in there. I don't know if there's going to be apples, but we're going to do it. And thank you guys so much. Have a good one. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Cheers.
Man of the
Thanks, guys.
West.
Man of the
Have a
West.
good one.